Rebecca Cameron.
Rebecca Cameron.
Is that your last name?
Not anymore.
Yeah, what is it now?
Fitzgerald.
Who'd you marry?
Scott.
Scott Fitzgerald?
That's the one.
And you've got one daughter
One daughter.
named Madison?
Yep.
Yeah, and she's in grade 3 now?
She sure is.
Yeah. When did you start here at camp?
It was 1991.
Yeah?
Yep. I started in 5A. Denise Keeley was my counselor.
Do you remember any of the other campers in your cabin?
I do. Jillian Christian was in my cabin.
Yeah?
Jillian Omerod was in 5B that year. Amber Anderson was in my cabin, but only sometimes because she was
Because she
5.
was special.
Well, because she was
Yeah.
young. She was young. And Jackie Vandermeulen
Yeah.
was in my cabin.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good cabin.
Yeah, it sure is. It was a great group.
What other counselors did you have?
I had Marion.
Yeah, Marion Phillips.
Yes,
Yep.
Marion Phillips. And I had Leanne Ryan. And I had, oh my goodness, Bronwyn Lowe.
Yeah, these are all solid counselors.
They are, yeah. Jen Mantesso.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm missing one.
And how many years were you on staff?
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 years. CIT, 2 counselor years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you have any staff that you idolized, looked up to, were in love with?
I wasn't really in love with anyone. I think though in my memories that I have of my childhood and coming here, I always remember Marna, the warm fuzzy story, which is I think one of, not the only reason, but one of the reasons that I love chapel. That was a big moment for me.
You're in for a treat tonight then.
Is she telling the story? Okay, all right. I
Yeah.
had been hoping, because this is Madison's first time here with us, so
Yeah.
and she would be around the age that I was the first time I heard it.
And there's a moment where Marna transforms into that witch.
Yeah.
That moment where there's that intense
Yeah.
cackle. And
Bit of a
she
hunchback.
becomes,
There's-
yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah.
becomes
Yes.
the Wicked Witch.
She really does.
Yeah.
Yep. And Toddy Boy, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And, Paul Irving and Sean, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many, right? Like Rebecca Lowe and, certainly Jeff Mann. Jeff Mann was the counselor of 4A when I was in 5A.
And so 5A and 4A were partnered up.
They were. So we got to spend a lot of time together, shore supper and all of the activities all day and stuff. So, yeah. So I was, I'm very fortunate to have had time with all of these. I really did have good counselors.
Yeah. Yeah, you had a good lineup. And I will say that at Camp Yoronda, the female counselors were always better than the male counselors.
You're going to say that on video?
Yeah, for sure, because
Okay.
it was a true thing. And it's probably still true today.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you figure Sarah Marshall. I didn't have Sarah Marshall, but I know many other people who did. And Sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah,
Sarah.
her last name started with S as well. Shrubsole,
Maybe.
something like that.
I'll believe you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had Rebecca and Denise, right? There really was. Marna was a counselor for many years as well. She always said that was her favorite thing, was being a counselor.
Yeah.
hmm
Because sometimes you can rise up above where you want to be sometimes.
Maybe, yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
I guess that's true, yeah. Amy Wilcox. Amy Wilcox is the counselor that had escaped my memory. But Tina and Amy were a big part of my growing up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who do you stay in contact with?
Oh my gosh.
Lots?
Lots. So
Yeah.
I stay in contact with a lot of people I met on staff. Amy Amlin, Shauna, of course, Jen Randall, Carolyn Blocka, because we all went to different sessions. I was an A camper all the way through, and and I think Shauna was a C camper. Carolyn might have been a D camper. So I stay, Robbie Levin, I stay in touch with Robbie.
Yes, and
Yeah.
on the camp CD,
That's right.
there is
Yeah.
a moment
With-
on that CD.
There is Jen Mantesso.
Yeah,
Or no, it's Alyssa Mantesso
That's
on
right.
the CD and me.
yes.
That's right. Yeah.
And she says, "You kissed Robbie,
Yeah. And
and
they're
you're gonna do it again tonight."
There is a moment on the CD. Yep.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, very good time.
I wonder where Robbie is.
I think he's out west with his. He has 2 kids and he's married to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I
I'm
know it
sorry.
didn't work out. That's okay. Do you know that I actually on it would have been Indian Day then still. I got married. Marna married me to Andy Molnar at the
Huh.
time. I was 11 years old. So yeah. Yeah.
And did you have a thing for Andy?
Oh yeah, and Andy and I stayed in touch for many years. We continued our courtship until we were
Wow,
young teenagers.
nice.
So yeah, yeah.
Huh. And how do you feel being here this weekend?
I think grateful.
Grateful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. To be back here and to be able to bring Madison to see it all, you know, like because there is like the magic of camp really is in the people, right? So it's been wonderful to get to introduce her to people like you and to Marna and to, you know, and to walk around and, you know, tell her which cabins I stayed in. And she swam in the lake and, you know,
Yeah.
she's been in the creative center, which she's really enjoyed. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
it's been really lovely.
hopefully she gets diabetes.
Well,
Hey?
this is it, right?
How will
so
she know?
true.
How will she know what I
She'll
went
never
through?
be able to experience it.
Yeah.
Very true.
Mm-hmm. Win any awards when you're here?
Oh goodness. Well, I've swam to TI for
Yeah?
sure. I have a
What was
few
the name of that
those.
award?
I think it was the swim to TI.
No.
What was it
Great
called?
Swim. I think wasn't it called the Great Swim?
It
Award or
was
something?
called the Great Swim.
Yeah.
You're right. I think I have a salamander or 2, maybe from Trip High.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
My least favorite part of camp was the swim test in orientation each year. Because that was like the max that I could swim.
Yeah.
The 10 or 12 or some years, some stupid waterfront director would say, oh, it's 14 laps this year
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
Yeah. And so that was my worst. I wasn't swimming at Treasure Island.
No.
No.
I think we all didn't we all wear life jackets to church? Oh, I know.
No,
I did. Oh no, you couldn't.
no,
You weren't
no.
allowed. You had to.
That's right.
They had the
Yeah.
canoes, and you had to like hold on to a cedar strip canoe to take a break. Do you remember?
Yeah, and somebody'd squeeze monogel into
Monogel,
your
yes,
mouth and you
yeah.
keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you weren't allowed to wear a life jacket and as a diabetic low swimming across the lake, or you wouldn't get the piece of
That's
paper
true.
that said you
That's
completed
true. Yeah. What we said around the world, right? That was a
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
it. Tell us, explain to the
Around
audience
the
where
world?
around the world was.
So I think actually it was around the world and around the equator, if I'm not mistaken.
That was a
It
new one. That
evolved
came
over
later, yeah.
time. But so it was about rotating your sights to, you know, you had to do your arms and your legs, you had to do your butt, and you had to do your abdomen, and you wouldn't get signed off on it and get your award unless you could prove that you did them all.
What was your least favorite site?
I don't think I have really a least favorite site. I mean, it was
Was the
never
abdomen?
great doing the butt and like, I mean, in a big group of people.
Yeah,
like
and
the-
then getting
right?
rewarded for it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They used to, there was like curtains in there.
Yeah.
We used to like hide behind the curtains.
Yeah,
Yes, I
And-
remember.
yeah. Yeah, you had to prove
You did.
that, yeah.
You had to prove it. Do you remember the when you go line up and you meet with the endocrinologist and they all had these tiny little pieces of paper, right, with
That's
your
right.
dose on them?
And then, you drop yours. And
Yeah.
then you pick it up and you're like, or you smudge it or something. Like,
Yeah.
is that? And then I'm a non-diabetic.
What?
Yeah, I don't have diabetes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And like, I would draw up insulin and give it to kids, right? And that,
Completely
with,
acceptable.
completely acceptable. No medical training.
life-sustaining
Just
therapy.
a tiny piece of paper that you're like, is that a 4 or a 40? All right. And then you give it to a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No repercussions. Yeah.
No,
Different times.
different times. Yes.
Now, my band played at a restaurant that you were working at.
That's so true.
Where was that?
So that was at a Jack Astor's in Brampton, and we were raising money for the Walk for Hope.
Yeah.
Yes, we were, and people came. The patio was packed, I remember. And the band is Ridge Walker.
Ridge Walker.
Ridge
Me,
Walker.
Jason Yutzi, Mike Matze,
Yes.
Mike Patton,
Yes.
and then our keyboard player who wasn't from camp, James.
Yeah. Yes, I remember that. That was so. You played Mountain Dew. There were two. I don't remember their names. Isn't that horrible? Two women there, like Camp Huronda alumni,
Yeah.
who had come, and they were quite excited to see you guys play. And they waited, and they were thrilled that you played Mountain Dew.
Yeah, because we played like sometimes harder stuff, and
Yeah.
Jack Astor's might not have been like the venue, and yeah.
No, it was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah, I remember that. Wow, wow. That must have been 20 years ago? 15?
The band started in 2003,
Okay.
so
Okay.
yeah.
Are you playing tonight?
The band? Is
Yeah.
the band getting back together? Jason Yutzi was unaware that there was a reunion, so he invited family from Ireland to come this weekend.
Ah,
Mike Matze said he would be here, but he's kind of a half-working musician, so his life is kind of sketchy that way as far as commitments
I've
go.
seen him play in Ottawa.
Mike Patton lives in Edmonton,
Okay.
and so we've replaced him in the band.
Okay.
I don't know. People move around and they have babies and things.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Screws up bands. It's good for life and stuff.
Good for life.
All right. Any closing comments?
No, I don't think so. It's really great to see you.
Yeah. It's nice to see. And walking around out here, I feel a little lost sometimes. I don't know how you feel about that.
It's a
Like you're
little
standing there,
different.
like you connect with someone, you have a conversation for 2 minutes, and they're gone, and then
Yeah.
you need a place, and so I'm just making my place here.
It's
I find
perfect.
this better. This is better than
What are we doing
happens
with
in there.
this?
It'll be posted
Alright.
in the World Wide Web.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah.